Welcome to Easy Peasy Books, From Author to Authority, the lively and engaging podcast for business professionals who've always believed they have a book in them. I'm your host, Gillian Whitney. Join me as I chat with authors and industry experts from all around the world to explore simple strategies to write, publish, and leverage your business book. Whether you're an entrepreneur, executive, or an employee, this podcast is for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Easy Peasy Books podcast. Today, I want to talk about a question I hear quite a lot from aspiring authors. Should I publish my book on Amazon only? Actually, there's a lot of different ways to get your book out into the world. In addition to Amazon KDP, there's platforms like Ingram Spark, Barnes & Noble Press, Draft Digital, and many, many more. And some people even just choose to sell their book directly from their website. But for a first-time author, if you start looking at all these options, it's understandable that it's all going to feel a little bit overwhelming. So today, I want to walk you through why I typically recommend starting with Amazon only for a first-time business author. Not because it's the only option, but because it's often the easiest way to get your book published and working for your business. And if you know me, I'm all about easy peasy. Okay, so let's start off with the goal of a business book and understanding that it's quite different from if you're publishing other books. Now, a lot of publishing conversations focus heavily on book sales and royalties. That's not what we're going to do today, because most of the clients that I work with aren't trying to build a retail business based on their book sales. Instead, they're writing a book to build credibility. They want to show off their expertise, attract clients, support maybe getting some speaking opportunities, and creating more visibility. In other words, their book is part of a bigger business strategy. They're rarely writing a book to be their primary revenue source. Instead, it simply helps them position themselves as an author and a trusted expert. And when that's your goal, the publishing process should support momentum, not slow things down. So next up, let's talk about how most business authors don't really want to manage multiple platforms. Now, technically, as I said before, there are a lot of distribution options available to you. You could publish on Amazon, publish through Ingram Spark, publish through Draft Digital, or sell those books directly through your website. Each one of those has advantages, but most of the business professionals I work with are busy. They're busy running their company, serving clients, maybe even managing a team. And when I start explaining all the details about what would be involved with managing multiple book distribution platforms, I start seeing their eyes glaze over. Not because they can't understand it, but because they're sitting there asking themselves, do I really want to deal with all of this? I know I don't. Because managing multiple platforms often means managing multiple dashboards. You got to deal with multiple royalty reports and all sorts of different systems to update and keep track of. There's so much that can go wrong when you have to do something like this. And most of my clients really don't want to become a publishing operations manager. They just want a book that supports their business without creating a whole new job for themselves. So keeping their book on Amazon as a primary platform is just going to make their life so much simpler. And whether you love Amazon or not, it's currently the largest online bookstore in the world. A lot of readers actually love reading using the Kindle app. I know I do all the time. And they like ordering their physical books with Prime because maybe they get free shipping. Again, raising my hand. That's what I like when I order my books. So meeting readers where they already are just removes so much friction. Next up, think about the importance of an easy peasy buying experience because that's really what matters most. So think about it. When somebody hears about your book, their interest is usually immediate. Maybe they heard you speaking at an event, listened to you on a podcast interview. Maybe they read something you posted on LinkedIn, or maybe they just landed on your website. So when that interest is high, you want to have a buying experience that's simple. Most readers already have an Amazon account. Their payment details are already saved. Maybe they even have gift cards. Their shipping address is already saved. They trust the checkout process. So making it easy peasy to buy like that actually increases the likelihood that someone will actually buy your book. And that moment actually really matters more than you think. Because if we start making the buying process feel too complicated, a lot of people are going to think, I'll just move along. After all, people get busy, they forget, and they might come back later to look at something and do it, but chances are they probably don't. So you want to make your book buying experience for them easy. You want that purchase to help your interested readers actually become your buyers. Next up, selling books from your website sounds great until it isn't. I know selling books directly from your website can really sound appealing. Oh, there'll be higher profit margins. You're going to have a direct customer relationship. You'll have total control. I get it. But maintaining e-commerce on your website can create a whole new set of responsibilities. To sell books directly, you're going to have to set up some type of e-commerce tool, connect payment processing, manage your orders, and deal with shipping logistics. And then you got to deal with customer service issues as they come up. And for authors who travel a lot, this can get impractical really fast. I actually worked with a client once who wanted to ship their books directly from their house. Easy peasy, shouldn't be a problem. But because they were traveling so much, they found that fulfilling the orders became so stressful and it was becoming inconsistent that people would place an order, but we couldn't get the book out to them right away. Eventually, to solve all this, the shipping responsibility shifted to me, and I had to take over it. And I realized I didn't want to do this either. So this was sort of way back before there was print-on-demand options like we have now. And I'm telling you, I would never want to go back to that life again. And now that there are print-on-demand options like we have through Amazon, it can just make order fulfillment so easy. Those systems create an excellent buying experience. And again, like I said before, it's familiar to the reader. If you buy a book on somebody's website, you're not really sure it's actually going to ever arrive. And so we like to have a checkout system that feels familiar so that people don't hesitate. So that's why I highly recommend don't go the website route if you're going to have to actually go to the post office and ship it yourself. And think about, what if I got international orders? Do I really want to start shipping my book across the pond? Next up, being on Amazon gives you instant credibility. For first-time authors, this is especially important because visibility really matters. When somebody sees your book listed on Amazon, it sends a real clear message. This person's a published author. Your Kindle Direct Publishing listing includes your book description. It includes your cover. It lists you as the author. It gives reader reviews. Sometimes it even has a preview feature. All of those elements help establish you quickly. And often, the real return on investment from a business book comes from a speaking engagement later or attracting consulting clients, which just further strengthens your professional positioning and it helps you stand out from your competitors. So, a book can really become a trust building tool. Too much complexity can delay getting your book published. Now, here's something I see happen a lot. Publishing advice can sometimes introduce way more complexity than a first-time author actually needs to be dealing with. Wholesale discounts, distribution structures, retail channel strategy, should there be a return policy for bookstores? All of these are topics that you are going to have to deal with, and this can create decision fatigue. Longer publishing is complicated. It can lead to over-researching your options, second-guessing every decision, and sometimes even postponing publishing altogether. When you keep things simple, it protects your momentum. You can always expand later. And here's the good news. Choosing a simple publishing path now doesn't lock you in forever. A lot of authors start with Amazon and then they explore expanded distribution later if their goals change. A great example of this is one of my clients who recently published their book on Amazon. After the book was published, they became attracted to the idea of doing a local book signing through Barnes & Noble, which is an opportunity that lots of authors in the United States like to take advantage of. Now, with Barnes & Noble, they don't want you to just bring your book over from Amazon, understandably. They want you to actually have books published by them on their website so that people can actually physically get the books there. Now, what you can do is that you can simply take your book and upload it to the Barnes & Noble Press website. And that's awesome because now you have author copies that you can have available for your book signing. Now, if you publish that book on Amazon using Amazon's free ISBN, it's a little bit different because now you'll either have to get a new ISBN through Barnes & Noble or you would have to go to Bowker and purchase one there. But that's a minor thing that you have to deal with. The good news is the fact that you did it on Amazon, you can still expand down the road when your needs change. So publishing your first book is really about building confidence and gaining experience. It doesn't need to be a perfect distribution strategy. It just has to have a clear purpose, and you just need a finished manuscript. At the end of the day, what I want you to remember is the goal is to make the publishing process as easy peasy as possible. And that starts with being clear about why you wrote the book in the first place. Most business professionals aren't writing a book as their primary revenue source. They're writing their book to build their brand, demonstrate their expertise, and attract new clients and new opportunities. As I love to say, the book is part of a bigger visibility strategy. And when that's the goal, choosing a simple distribution model just makes so much sense. Using Amazon as your primary publishing platform means your book is going to be easy to find, easy to buy, and easy to manage. Publishing your first business book doesn't need to involve managing multiple dashboards, juggling e-commerce, or navigating a complicated distribution decision. It just needs to get your ideas in front of the people who are already looking to learn from you. Having a simple system that builds momentum is key, and that momentum will help you become a published author. And becoming a published author is going to help you build your authority. So that's it for today. I hope that you found this episode helpful, and I hope to see you back here next week for another edition of the Easy Peasy Books podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Easy Peasy Books. from author to authority. If you found value in today's episode, I'd be grateful if you could leave us a review. It helps other aspiring authors discover our podcast. To learn more about writing, publishing, and leveraging your business book, visit my website at easypeasybooks.com.